Right, it's time to stop skirting around the issue.
Skirting?
Yes, skirting.
It's time for skirts. Channel. I'm Rachel.
I'm Nikki, and we're the Stitch Sisters, and we're back with skirts. We've done skirts. We've done trousers, we've done tops, we've done dresses. It's now skirts' turn, and we've still got coats and jackets to come.
We do, we do. We've also done a video all about the colours and the prints for spring and summer 2020, and we've done a video about the details, 2 videos about the details, where we look at what we've seen on the catwalk and then how you can recreate that with your patterns.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're going to do now with skirts.
Yes.
So for each of these videos, we have found 3 trends that we either think are new or that we find particularly interesting, and we've then looked at them in detail and gone and found patterns that will allow you to recreate your favourite looks.
Yes.
So let's start with one of my favourite trends for this season, and that is denim skirts.
Yes.
So denim skirts are back with a vengeance.
They are massive.
They are, particularly Midi and Maxi length denim skirts, but to be honest, you can't go wrong with any kind of denim skirt.
No, we have seen minis as well in the shops.
Yes,
so they're literally anything goes.
Yes, and all shapes and sizes is absolutely fine.
Yeah.
So what we particularly love is some examples here, some of our favourites from the runway. So basically half of Celine's catwalk show was denim, and denim skirts in particular.
We love them.
Just want to recreate all of them. What I loved most about hers was that they've clearly been upcycled, so they've been used from different parts of denim, different shades of denim, and created some really interesting patchwork looks. So this is a good example here, but there's lots and lots of others. If you want to go and Google Celine spring summer 2020, you'll see loads and loads of denim skirts. But as sewists, we love the upcycling opportunities, and we will be scooping up most of the jeans from all of our local charity shops to recreate some of these looks.
It's definitely happening. So we also love this Givenchy look as well, which is basically taking the upcycling to a whole new level. So this is basically a pair of jeans that have been opened up, and she's wearing them back to front with the legs opened up to make the gap in the skirt and to leave it as a slit. So it's not only is that, but it is back to front. She's got her back pockets on the front, and it's all been frayed around the edges, and it's just a really unusual way of looking at skirts. So if you're into that kind of thing, then you don't even need to make anything, you just need to get your unpicker out.
Yes, exactly. And also Givenchy did another really lovely version where they basically had the same sort of style of jean, but instead of leaving it open and frayed, they put a completely different colour denim panel in that V at the front. Now we have done a DIY on how you can take a pair of jeans and turn it into a skirt. At the time we were going for shorter lengths, but there's no reason why you couldn't follow the gist of that to be able to create one of these longer length skirts, so make sure you go and check that out. Another option that we really liked is this one from Stella McCartney. Now this isn't necessarily upcycled, but what's interesting about it is it's been stone washed after it's been sewn, so all of that kind of lighter detail that you see around the seam lines has been done from washing after it's been made. But what we love about this is the simplicity. It's a very simple skirt. It's probably not as simple as it looks, but it gives the appearance of simplicity. There's no obvious pockets, there's no belt loops, it's just very, very simple. And if you're new to sewing with denim and you want to create something that's even easier, then going for something like that would be a good option.
Yes. The other thing to bear in mind is that there are no specific shades or types of denim.
No.
So you can have a light wash, you can have a dark wash, it can be acid washed, it can be stone washed. Everything seems to be all together and acceptable. And also because one of the other trends that we've talked about is head to toe denim. So you can,
as Nikki is wearing
today. So you can mix a lighter shade on the top and a darker on the bottom. It really doesn't matter, everything goes, which I think makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people wonder about how to wear top to toe denim, and I think that Celine is a really, really good example of that, because it's just basically making sure that every piece is a slightly different shade.
Yes.
So you can either wear it like that with different shades, but the other option is that you wear them all from kind of the same tone.
Yeah.
So one of those, either very different or very similar, is the way to go. And just have some fun.
Yeah. So patterns wise, the first one we've got for you is the Axis skirt and dress by paper cut patterns, and this is very similar to that very simple one that we saw from Stella McCartney. It doesn't have an awful lot of detail on it, but if you're new to sewing with denim or even just with skirts, then this is a great one to start with because they'll hold your hand throughout and there's not too much fuss going on.
Yeah, now the great thing about this is that even though it's not actually a pattern that's been designed for denim, it's not necessarily intended to be a denim skirt, one of the varieties is a cord.
Yeah.
And sewing cord is quite similar to sewing denim. The other thing to bear in mind is if you're scared of sewing denim, just go for a slightly lighter one. On a skirt you can definitely get away with lighter weights of denim. So you don't necessarily, especially if you're making a slim fit midi or maxi skirt, you don't want to go for a 10 or 12 ounce denim that you would use on your jeans. You're better off going for a 4 or an 8 ounce denim that's going to have a bit of movement but also feel a lot lighter and more comfortable to wear.
Check out our Guide to Fabric series as well. I'll link the denim one here because we actually show you and discuss the different weights of denim, so that might be really interesting for you to look at as well.
Yeah, so that's a video all about cottons, but there is a section in there, quite a big section, because denim is a big cotton fabric, so there's quite a lot in there about different jeans weights and that sort of thing.
It's really useful.
Yeah. So this next one, again, isn't a skirt pattern that's designed for denim. It's the Wattle pattern by Megan Nielsen. But the thing that appeals to me with this is if you like some of those kind of fuller skirts, not necessarily the straight up and down options, but if you like the more kind of wider hemmed versions that we saw on the catwalks, then what you don't necessarily want is a lot of gathering and fullness at your waist. So what you want is a skirt that's relatively flat at the top that then goes into flare. So what we love about this pattern is that you've got a version of a bias cut, which is the one shown in the image, where basically each panel is bias cut and starts narrow at the top and then flares at the bottom, and that creates that lovely look, but it's still a very, very smooth silhouette. But also there's a variety on there for pleats as well. So again, controlling that denim with sharp pleats is a nice way of doing it. If you're using a lightweight denim and you're quite happy to go with gathers, and there is also a gathered skirt option on there. So there's 4 different varieties in that pattern. So between them, you're going to find one that's right for your project.
The next one is I Am Patterns, and it's the Romeo skirt, and this is one that I like because I like a straight up and down skirt, especially with the denim skirt, and I haven't made a long line one yet, so I think it might be added to my list. I love the sort of the slight western tinge to this one. I like the pockets, I like the buttons down the front, and I like the sort of the yoke detail that they've put on the back, because I think you could have some lovely top stitching experience with this.
You could. It also gives you colour blocking options if you wanted to use different shades of denim for the different panels, then you'd be able to do that. The reason we chose the Romeo is just because it's the longer line version of all the denim skirt patterns we could find. It does appear to be the longest straight out of the pattern. But you could obviously add length to any pattern, so don't feel like you necessarily have to buy a new one if you've already got one. It just happens to be a shorter version. Now what we should say is with denim skirts, pretty much every pattern company out there has a version of a denim skirt, or at least a pattern that could be interpreted in denim. Just go to your favourite pattern company. I'm sure you'll find loads and loads of options out there.
But also check your stash, because a lot of the patterns that you have in your stash for skirts will be suitable to sew with denim. So have a look at the fabric requirements on the back, and it may well say denim, and you may have lots in your stash already. Yeah,
but even if it doesn't say denim, if it mentions any other heavier weight fabrics, like for instance corduroy, then that's another good option. You're probably going to be safe with the denim. And we should also, before we move away from denim, we should probably give a shout out to our 2 favourite denim skirts. So I have got a Madeline skirt from Victory Patterns that I love and have got an awful lot of wear out of.
And mine is the Sew House 7
Alberta.
You had forgotten the name of it, but I have made that, and I get so many comments every time I wear it, and it's such a lovely denim skirt, but one for stretch fabrics. So if you've got a nice stretch denim that you want to make and you've not got much of it, it's a really good one.
Okay, moving on to the next trend in skirts. Now this isn't necessarily specific to skirts, it's something that we've seen on lots and lots and lots of different types of garments, but it's slits. So side slits, front slits, high leg slits, just having an opening somewhere. So we've seen it a lot in dresses and we've seen it in trousers as well, but to be honest, we were quite restricted on trends that are specific to skirts outside of all of the details that we mentioned in our previous videos. So we've opted for this as a skirt trend, and there were some good examples of this on the runway. So there's this great version from Brenda Maxwell where basically it's a huge full skirt and then it's got a slit that goes right up to her belt. Now again, not a very wearable trend, but it does look very Cinderella-esque and I really like it.
You could put some hot pants underneath it or some shorts underneath it and combine all of those trends together. It would be fun.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much I'd get done wearing that much fabric, but you know, girl can dream.
So Jason Wu is another example, and this is more of a straight line skirt, and I love the fact that it's been teamed with a jacket, so it's more of a suit if you wanted to wear it as a suit. Clearly you might not want to wear a bra top with it, but you can put something a bit more demure. But we love the shade of this, and we love that big side slit up the front of the thigh.
Yes, and actually bra tops are huge. It's another big trend. In addition to hot pants, we chose not to cover those because it's just not our sort of thing, not our age. But for you young'uns out there, you go for it with your bra tops. And our final look that we loved is this one from Prabal Gaurang, which is basically, he's got head to toe florals in this gorgeous lilac. I love the two different types of fabric. So you've got kind of the sequins on the bottom half and then you've got the knitwear on the top half. But again, it's got a slit at the side. It's a very kind of fitted skirt. But the great thing about side slits is that you are in control of how high or low the slit goes.
Yes.
So you don't have to have it all the way up to your belt. No. You don't have to be showing anything above your knee. But it does give you more options for being able to actually move and walk in slightly more fitted garments if you've got a slit from the knee down, because it means that you can walk a little bit more comfortably. So if you like side slits, if you think that you might enjoy putting some of those in your garments, you definitely don't need any patterns because any single pattern out there, if you choose not to completely sew up one of the seams, if you choose to stop it at some point and then just finish that open edge, then you can have a slit anywhere. Now, if you like a front slit, then what you want to be doing is looking for any kind of princess seam or a skirt that's got gauges or something like that in it, so that you've got an option of having a seam that's actually somewhere on the front of the garment rather than at the side. But if you're happy with side slits, anything, literally anything at all. You can just leave your seam open from whichever point you decide.
Yeah, like you got fed up and just went, that'll do, that's enough.
Yes, exactly. Now, there aren't actually any specific skirt patterns that have side slits, purely because all of the patterns that we found that did have them are actually dresses. So instead, what we thought is a really good option is for wrap skirts. So wrap skirts have got a built-in side slit, really, haven't they?
Yes.
The difference is it's not visible all the time, really just when you walk. But again, it depends how tightly or loosely you choose to tie the wrap.
But also where you place the wrap as well. So where you place that opening will depend upon how much leg you're showing as you walk. So that's another way of doing it.
Exactly.
So the first wrap skirt we've got for you is Hot Patterns 1176, and we love this one because it's got so many colour blocking options as well as having the side slit. So imagine it in multi-shaded denim and with a side slit, and you're banging out all the trends all at once.
Yeah.
But we think it's probably a really wearable skirt as well. So you could just have it all the same shade. It could even be all the same fabric and it would just look great.
Yeah, absolutely. You could incorporate so many trends with this skirt because you could have one of the panels sheer and that ticks the sheer panels box. You could have one of them in lace or something like that. But then
colour
also
blocking.
Yeah, colour blocking.
Macaroon
use different
rainbows.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. You could pick 3 different pastel shades and do that, or 3 highlighter shades and do that. But there's lots and lots of fun that you could have with that design. The next one that we loved is this one from Names. This is quite an old pattern from them. It's the Tiara wrap skirt. But what we love about this is that the way that it ties at the side kind of gives it this sort of waterfall, sort of ruching effect, which is another big trend. And we also love the fact that this one is made in a jersey. It doesn't have to be, but this particular example is made in a jersey. And that just means that it's a really super comfy casual skirt, which I think would be great to chuck on with some trainers or to wear with a sweatshirt, as the girl in the picture is doing.
And then last up is the Gabriola from Sewaholic, and we like this one because it's got panels on the front. So you've got so many options for giving you one split, two splits, as many splits as you like. But we also like the top of this skirt. So we like the fact that it's almost got like a yoke at the front, so that, and then the skirt comes out from there. So you're getting a really defined waist and hip line, and then it's going out from there. And I think it would be really lovely in a denim. And again, you could colour block it as well. It would really functional, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And this one is actually a maxi skirt, but obviously that just means that you can make it any length from maxi right up to whatever you're comfortable with.
Absolutely.
You just need to shorten all of the pattern pieces. So if you're wondering, for any of you really newbie sewers out there, if you're wondering how you would leave a side slit, the best way to do that is to have a little guess whereabouts on the seam you think you might like to stop, and then you can just do a little reverse when you get to that point, instead of continuing sewing down the rest of the seam. Then you can try it on and you can see if that is about right for you. If it is, then great. If it's not and it's too high, then you can just stitch it down a little bit further. And if it's too short, or you've stitched up too much and you want more of a reveal, then just get the unpicker out and then just finish that off. And then you just need to do something with the rest of that seam, so you can either run it through the overlocker and top stitch it in place, or you can do a double folded hem on that lower level and just turn the raw edge into the existing fold and then stitch that in place.
Easy.
Easy peasy.
If you want us to do a tutorial on it, just comment below, it's fine.
Yes, and you should probably finish the seam and on the opening before you do the hem, because that'll make it a bit easier.
It will, yes.
So the third and final trend for skirts isn't necessarily a new one. It's been around for a while. It was around in the autumn and winter. It was around previous spring and summer. But tiered skirts is here to stay, and that's something that we really love. So Maxi is the obvious choice, but you can have anything in between. We saw a lovely example from Chanel here, where it's actually a knee-length skirt, but it's got 3 tiers. Actually, I love that whole look.
Love the volume on that skirt.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. She's obviously wearing it with a petticoat, if you're wondering how much she got that much volume. There'll be some sort of structure underneath it.
Not good for windy days.
Yeah, I love it paired with that white blouse with the big sleeve and the little hats. I just think it's such a good look. And that's a really nice example. But then my absolute favourite is this Missoni skirt. I don't know why I'm so in love with it. Yeah. Because it's so simple. It's just 4 tiers, but I just love the combination of those fabrics. It just wants me to go. It makes me want to go and raid my stash and just see what I've got that I can sew together.
Raid my quilting stash.
Yeah, I just want it to be totally random. What I particularly like about that skirt is the way it appears to move. So I think it's actually different layers of either a gauze or a voile or something like that.
Really light.
So something really light.
Love that.
But I really love that skirt.
And this final one is a Sandy Lang example, and it's all the ruffles all the time. So you've got a straighter skirt. It is still coming way down past the knee. It's maybe not, it's not quite, it's midi length, it's not maxi length, but you've got lots and lots of ruffles on it, but it's still keeping that straight shape. Yeah. And I just like, this just looks like ice cream to me, or frosting or something, like candy floss. The colour of it as well, it's just delicious.
It does, yeah. So in addition to kind of layers or tiers of gathers, so one bigger panel gathered into a smaller panel, this other option of having tiered ruffles, so that it's actually sewn on top of a base garment. So you've got your tube skirt and then you've got your ruffles attached onto the top of it, is another really interesting look. So if you want to create something like the Missoni skirt and you're just looking for a basic maxi tiered skirt, then we really love this one from Common Stitch. It's called the Fawn skirt, and what we love about it is it gives you either 3 or 4 layers. The 4th layer is just a little one, but you could lengthen it if you wanted to. So the important thing to remember with this kind of tiered skirt is that you don't actually need a pattern. You could just do it yourself with gathered rectangles working back to your waist, so you can just DIY it if you want to, and again we'd be more than happy to do a DIY for you if you think that that would be of interest.
We would.
But if you want to use a pattern and follow instructions, then this one from Common Stitch is a really good option.
This next one is a McCall's pattern. It's the M7984, and we love this because of the combination of the top and the skirts together. So we think they're really summery, and there'd be a really nice sort of two set to put together. So the skirt gives you a couple of different options. You've got a choice of 1 ruffle or 2 ruffles depending upon the length that you want to do it. But we love this, the button detail on the front, and we love the fact that the front ruffle comes up into a little curve and actually makes the front layer slightly asymmetrical, slightly shorter on the front, which I think is really playful. It seems like it's a really summery, playful look, and particularly with this little cropped top that comes with it, with the big puff sleeves. I think you could be flamenco dancing till dawn in that.
You could, absolutely. And because the buttons are only in the very top portion, then you would also tick the side slip box on that one as well. And our final skirt option is this one. It's the Belle skirt from Wardrobe by Me. And the reason we like this one is because it is a tiered skirt. It does have tiers of gathers, but what we like about it is it's slightly unusual shape. So it does hitch up slightly in the front, and that means that the middle layer has a kind of curved shape in the back. So you're not talking about just straight rectangles, you will be talking about slightly curved pattern pieces, and it just creates a really, really interesting look. So I'm not sure that the photo necessarily does it justice because you can't really see the details, but when you look at the line drawing you can see that it is quite interesting.
It would give it quite a lot of movement, I think, wouldn't it? Those curves and the structure.
Yeah.
So that's it for skirts. I've got 9. Hopefully that's enough to get you through the spring and summer. I know that we'll definitely be making a couple, but we haven't quite decided yet. But you want to go back if you want to look at trousers or dresses. All the other videos are available now. But coming up soon will be coats, and then that's us done. That's our spring summer wardrobe sorted.
So just one more video to go. We will see you then.